What's up and welcome back. Today we're talking about if Red Dead Online is going to get PlayStation exclusive content. I'm Bandit, Barney, bringing you everything you need to know about Red Dead Online and Red Dead 2. And the reason we're talking about this is because yesterday, Take-Two stock jumped 7% as rumors went around that Sony was planning on buying them. That's right, Sony could end up owning Red Dead Online. Now, before all you Xbox owners out there break your Red Dead 2 discs, Sony came out yesterday with a spokesperson, and this was probably about 20 hours after the rumor had been going around, and said that they had no plans on purchasing Take-Two Interactive. Now, that pretty much shuts down if that's going to happen right now, but at the same time, it doesn't mean that in the future, that isn't something that's going to be searched out. And the reason I say this is because there's a trend going on in the entertainment industry. And this trend was really started by Disney. Disney has come out and bought so much of the entertainment market. Now, they are on the market side of like TV shows and movie entertainment, things that you watch, things that you consume. They haven't so much dived into the gaming side. And the gaming side is a side that is going to be really hitting that trend of what we've seen on the entertainment side for a while now. So it used to be TV and movies, and you'd watch the TV on, or you'd watch TV shows through your TV and cable television, and you'd go to the movies or you'd get a movie from Blockbuster. Then Netflix came in and changed the entire market. As Netflix did that, the market became much more profitable for the new entities that were taking advantage of it. Disney being one of them. They own so much. They've taken over Marvel. They have ESPN, ABC, NBC, like all of these different properties that they own now, and they're setting a trend for the entertainment business that's now leaking into the gaming industry. You see Amazon and Apple actually, I think, are coming out with plans to create consoles and take a portion of the market. While they're doing that, as the market becomes more volatile, like Netflix did to the visual side, the consumable side of the market, as it becomes more volatile, companies that are already well established, like Disney was in that market, like Microsoft and Sony are in the gaming market, are going to be looking to take a bigger piece of the pie so they don't lose the piece of the pie they already have. This is why, one reason why I say that these rumors around Sony acquiring Take-Two Interactive are very interesting. That, coupled with the idea that Sony doesn't have a good online, they haven't focused on their online gaming much recently. Sony has great story-driven games, but they don't have a real online-driven game. For example, these are some PlayStation exclusive games, and it's gonna blow your mind how good they are, but none of them have online, or at least a quality one. They have Spider-Man, they have God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, Detroit Become Human, and the Uncharted series. All of those phenomenal story-driven games. But as a Sony exec has said, the online multiplayer side is where they're missing. And who's really good at that? Well, you could argue Take-Two's the best at it. Rockstar is the best at it. GTA 5 has been probably the best online game in the last 5 years. Now in the last year, newcomers have come in like Epic's Fortnite and etc., free-to-play games, but as far as it goes in the last decade, Rockstar's the king there. They own that department. So Sony looking at, hey, what can we do to take a piece of this market before we end up losing as the market becomes more volatile, as it evolves and makes changes. We see the free-to-play change coming. What's Sony gonna do? Well, acquire a company that has already established themselves at dominating the online experience, thus buying Take-Two Interactive. Now, these rumors resulted in Take-Two stock jumping up, but other than that, Sony coming out and killing them outright pretty much destroyed that, and the stock has fallen back down, interestingly enough. Some people made a lot of money and some people lost a lot of money there. Wasn't me. I'm not rich enough to own that stock yet. This could also be attributed to the rumor of Borderlands 3 coming out, which is also underneath the Take-Two name. But what could this mean for Red Dead Online if this ends up being true? And one thought is that this could actually be good for Red Dead Online. Now, the reason I say that is in probably your initial gut reaction is that no, because if Sony owns Rockstar, then the games are going to be Sony exclusive. That could be true, but it won't be true for games that have already been released on other consoles. So for Red Dead 2, that's not going to be true. That also means that for Red Dead Online, it's not going to be true. And if Sony were to acquire Take-Two, thus acquiring Rockstar, Red Dead Online would become the newest IP they had that was emerging in that online multiplayer space. Sony, knowing that that's the space that they want to dominate more, actually more resources could be put into making Red Dead Online a bigger and better experience. Now, I'm not sure how the contracts are worked out with these different publishers, right? So Take-Two publishes Rockstar's game, and they have to make a deal with Microsoft to publish the game on their console. They have to make a deal with Sony to publish the game on their console. That probably means when they go to Microsoft to make the deal, Microsoft says, all right, well, you can't go and just make the PlayStation side of the game all that much better, because they don't want to get the worst of the deal. They don't want to be allowing Take-Two to earn money off selling their games on Microsoft consoles while making the incentive to play their games on PlayStation consoles more by giving that exclusive content. Already, we see that Take-Two and Rockstar have made a deal with Sony to give PlayStation owners timed exclusive content. So we get exclusive content for like a month before it'll come out. It's not exclusive content. The word is escaping me right now. But we can test out some content a month prior to Xbox players getting it. So there's already that deal in place. But there's no thing that is actually permanently exclusive to Sony games. If that's something, or Sony consoles, if that's something that happens in the future, I'm not sure. If Sony were to purchase Take-Two Interactive, that may be something that could happen. But what won't happen is Xbox players' right to play Red Dead Online. This is a big deal, and although Sony's come out and said that it's not going to happen, we are going to see the marketplace in gaming start to follow the trend that the entertainment business has had. In the last 2 years, Disney has really come out and, there's laws against monopolizing the market, but it seems like Disney's kind of doing that. They are taking all of their content off Netflix and creating their own streaming platform. They own the rights to the most popular movies in the world right now, the Star Wars franchise and the Marvel franchise. They, for the most part, dominate the market. There isn't really anyone that can challenge them. Think about owning not only ESPN and pretty much all of sports, but also owning, the movies and shows that are watched the most around the world. They dominate everything. And that is what's going to happen to the gaming market as it becomes more volatile with new innovation. Bigger companies are going to look to make their name. Last year already, Microsoft came out and tried to take EA. It didn't end up working out, but this is something that these big game publishers, Sony and Microsoft being at the top, are going to look for other companies to take over. Right now, it's mostly smaller mobile companies around the world, but this could actually come into play. Like I said, if Microsoft had made the move to purchase EA, we would most likely be talking about right now how Red Dead Redemption 2 could have been a PlayStation exclusive game, with Sony answering by purchasing Take-Two. Now, Take-Two is one of the best publishers in the world. At least they don't have any debt, and they make some of the best games out there. They have NBA 2K, which is consistently one of the top grossing or selling games each year. They have obviously Rockstar, which has developed GTA Online, which has been the best, and it makes the most money out of any game in the last decade. So they have these titles that just absolutely dominate. Sony, of course, has consoles and and they're a much bigger company, but still purchasing Take-Two would be a big reach. With Sony coming out though and shutting down the rumors, I think we can all rest easy and know that Red Dead Online is going to get the inconsistent updates, or rather the updates that don't add entirely a whole new aspect to the game that we've been getting. Hopefully this looks to change in the future, but right now we can expect things to stay in a pessimistic outlook, stagnant as they have been. It's exciting news and it's exciting thought, and generally where there's smoke, there is fire. I'll link down below the video where you can actually go in depth and see the details surrounding this. news prior to Sony actually coming out and shutting it down, because it's a very informational video. It's all speculation, nothing set in stone. And even the trading note that was caught on the floor by Joel Kulina is unconfirmed, has no source to it at all. So interesting to see how a trading note can, you know, raise a company's stock by 7% that easily. In fact, Take-Two stock the other day hit their all-time high since the February shareholder call that dropped their stock so much. So interesting to see that happen. It's a crazy thought. I do think we're going to see a trend in the future regarding, you know, Sony and Microsoft picking up some of these publishers and starting to take a bigger piece of the pie as we move into gaming being a bigger and bigger thing, as it is and has been for the last decade. But as of right now, we can all rest easy. Nothing's going to change too much in the near future. Let me know your thoughts down below. As always, we like to keep the conversation going here on the channel. And until next time, we'll catch you later.